Hey guys, Scott here, and today I want to do something a little different. It's sort of like a game analysis, and it's sort of like a guide, and it's like a little hybrid in between. Basically, I had this game yesterday that was really fun. I was playing Blight on Thompson House against a pretty damn solid group, and they were playing in such a way that I think a lot of inexperienced killers might call them like a bully squad. And the characteristics of that, from what I've seen, are basically survivors that they just show no fear. They don't care that you're a killer. They just they sort of like will repair gens in your face. They'll save a sprint burst and keep working on a gen even as they know that you're coming. They'll save right in front of you because they know they have borrowed time and DS and stuff like that. They go for setup plays with like adrenaline. They flashlights, like all that stuff. Like those are all the characteristics of what a lot of people say are like bully squads, where I think that the main defining characteristic of that is that they are not scared of you at all. They don't care. They will work on a gen 2 feet away from you because they know what they have to work with, and they're probably actually pretty decent. And to a lot of people, that can seem as it can be humiliating. You're supposed to be the killer, and you have these four survivors that are just dicking around, running around, picking each other up, saving 2 feet away from you, and just generally not caring that you're a killer. So I can understand how that can seem very demoralizing. So I wanted to give this game as an example of that happening, but also how to kind of deal with that happening, and to deal with that happening emotionally, to not take it too seriously and realize that it's not as bad as you think it is. But other than that, it's just a pretty fun game to watch. So I thought we would watch it together, and I want to stop it at a couple of points to go over things you should look out for when you're going against a team like this, because there are definitely things you have to take into account. You have to play differently when you're going against a team like this. You can't play it like a normal thing. You have to assume a lot of things about them, and that'll make your life a lot easier. So let's just jump into it. I'll let myself from the stream talk a lot of the time, and then when there's something I want to talk about, I will, go over it as I'm currently recording this video. So let's start it up now. I think I'm going on the wrong side here, but let's just see. Oh no, it worked out. I have no idea where he went. Oh. Oh, that man ran into a generator. Feels good. Although I have nothing to bounce off of, so it feels bad. Nice. That was only... That was the first hint that I got that I probably would be going against good survivors. That is a really smart thing to do against Blight, is not necessarily continue to go for the vault. It's to sit behind a structure, because in that scenario, as a Blight, what I have to do there is assume he's going to go for the window or assume he's going to sit behind something. I have to choose, because if I try to, do one, then I can't account for the other option. So the fact that he was aware of those other options is indicative that he's probably going to be a decent survivor. And I think this is one of the most important steps in going against, these squads, is that you need to understand what makes a survivor good, and you need to know what to look out for. Because for the most part, against most groups, you can just do whatever the hell you want, and you'll probably still do pretty decently. But when you're going against people that have displayed that they are good, you need to start changing your mindset, because they might start faking windows and things like that. They might, there are different things that advanced survivors do that you have to look out for. So analyzing skill as you're playing the match is one of the most important parts about learning how to go against teams like this, because they play differently, and you need to dynamically adjust how you're playing on the fly. So that is definitely very important. Option. Break off, go here. Here is another example of survivors just sort of not giving a shit. And this is another general sign that they're probably better survivors, because more inexperienced survivors tend to be a bit more passive when the killer is nearby. They might start, I'm not saying they're gonna just crouch in a bush and hide, but they might start moving towards a pallet and, generally having like some sort of, okay, I want to have a plan. But if you're not a killer with a one-shot against good survivors, a lot of the time you'll realize they don't give a shit. Unless they're injured, they don't care. They don't mind getting hit once because it doesn't mean anything for the most part. So when I saw this scenario where I charged here and they just kept working on the generator, that was another thing that went off in my head that said, okay, these are going to be those type of survivors. They're going to be very aggressive. They're not going to care if I'm in their face. At this point, I'm already thinking, okay, I'm expecting lots of decisive strikes, lots of borrowed times, body blocking, flashlight, all that stuff is starting to go in my head, and I'm already beginning to prepare for that stuff based just on the way that they're playing. Another example there, the Neo working on the gen 2 feet away from me. And even though I just downed another person, she still kept working on it. So again, this is just telling me that I'm going against this type of group and I need to play accordingly. Now, slugging here is the correct option. It's the most efficient and I guess optimal this is the correct decision to do. So, but you'll see quickly that I was sort of punished for that. Did someone finish that gen, or do they have 2 gens done? That'd be very unfortunate if they had 2 gens done. So within like 10 to 15 seconds, that guy was already up off the ground. In that amount of time, the time it takes a survivor to walk up to them and then begin healing them, that is either 2 survivors healing them at once, or we're gonna live forever. So either way, it puts it in the back of my head that, okay, slugging is not going to be as effective this game because they're getting them up within 10 to 15 seconds every time. So it's just, I'm trying to like show how your strategy needs to change as the match is going, dependent on the skill of the survivors that you're going against. Eternal Joe, thank you for the 13 months. God, they got him up fast. Must be We're Gonna Live Forever. Whatever, it's 1 stack. Another thing there is when you're going against walls like this, you pretty much never immediately pick up a survivor because there's pretty much, it's a guarantee that there's going to be someone with a flashlight trying to get saves a lot of the time. So never immediately pick up. Always take a second to look around you because a lot of the time if there is a group like this and someone has a flashlight, they will be nearby because, it's fun to go for flashlight saves. So that's the kind of thing they're looking for, and that's the kind of thing I was looking for here too. And sure enough, there was a Felix right there. Outplayed. Fucking dead hard! Oh. Here was a pretty big screw up. If I was faster, I definitely could have hit him, but that's more of a blight thing. Fucking random stupid fat boxer room. Yeah, stupid boxer room. He's just teleporting now. I'm just gonna forget him, I guess. So, something that you can even hear in my voice, even though I'm pretty decently equipped to deal with groups like this, you can even hear in my voice. Like, I want to go into this part of it too, that I'm actually getting a little frustrated. I got frustrated because that dude just, like, he didn't lag switch, but he just teleported somewhere. I don't know. So, normally when that would happen in a game that I'm, like, very heavily winning, or, it's going to be a stomp, I'd be like, oh, this silly game. But when it's in a game like this where people are in my face and they're just constantly healing, just not caring like this, it definitely is easier to get tilted at bugs and stuff like that. And you can even hear it in my voice. I'm getting more annoyed with the game. So you need to try to not do that, but it's easier said than done. So, but yeah, as you can see, the guy that I just downed is already back up. And this is just further cementing that it's the type of group that's going to be very aggressive. And they're going to be not letting anyone be down for more than a couple seconds. Here I fucked up again too. I thought I could bounce off the staircase, but I just got stuck on like nothing. So very tilting. This is awkward. That guy just literally teleported. That's very cool. Again, there's a Nia on my right working on a gen. There's a Jane right here. They don't care. And a lot of the time in this type of scenario, just getting hits on people is not, it's not a time loss. Like if you get a hit on someone and you don't continue chasing them, that's okay because they have to go elsewhere to heal. That's more of a general game tip. But I knew I couldn't go continue chasing her because these people have been getting the survivors up so fast that I know I just don't really have time to do that anymore. I need to basically have someone, and then once I down them, I need to just sort of pick them up because the speed at which they were getting people up was ridiculous. Fucking, we're gonna live forever. I swear to God, I've hit that obsession 3 times in the past 30 seconds. Wait now. Yeah, no, I have. Again, more of an example of them not caring. I am, 2 feet away. They're working on the gym. One of them tries to blind me. It's, the standard stuff that a lot of people call, bullying, even though, I don't see it like that. But I just want to show that that is like, the standard example of that. Okay. The thing is that they care so little about me being there that they just continue working on the gem because they know they have like, I think 3 We're Gonna Live Forevers, and they know they're going to pick them up within 2 seconds. Still, it is a better time investment for me to hit that person because that is, 4 seconds that they're not going to work on a gen, and it's like 3 seconds for my swing. So it's technically, in terms of time investment, it was still worth it to make that swing. And here is where I made a really dumb mistake. Now, when you see a group like this that's playing in this style, something that a lot of them will do is you'll see an injured person go to body block a hook, and obviously they can't do that or they go down, and then you just trade even if the person wiggles off. So what they'll do a lot of the time is run to it, and then they will immediately turn around, and then they'll dead hard, and then bait a swing out. I know this, and I'm an idiot for swinging here. This is totally just me being an idiot. What you do in this scenario, as soon as you see them turn around, you back up with them and swing immediately 180 degrees. If you do that, you'll hit them every single time if they try to dead hard past you. It's really funny. So I know that, and I just didn't do it because, I was getting flustered, and that absolutely happened. So that is something to keep in mind when you see an injured person go for a body block in a team like this. They're almost always going to dead hard away from you right as you're about to swing. So try not to fall for that like I did. Nice dead hard. Ugh, they all fucking dead hard. And they all are gonna live forever because they're all getting them up in like 2 seconds. There's another example of something you gotta watch out for. This is one of the biggest general tips. You need to pretty much assume everybody at all times has borrowed time. Ugh, they all fucking dead hard. Because a lot of the time, gonna live forever because they're all getting them up in like 2 seconds. So right here. So when you see somebody get unhooked in a group like this, a lot of the time the unhooked person will run at you because they want to take a hit for the person that unhooked them because they have borrowed time. Try not to waste time hitting the person that got off the hook. They puts them in mending for a little bit, but downing the other person is always better. So if you see someone run at you after they were unhooked in a group like this, just 99% of the time they have borrowed time on. So don't bother hitting them unless they are literally body blocking you and you have no other choice. So in this scenario, I tried to just sort of go around it and it works out. Hey, Scrap, what's up? How you doing? I think I'm chasing something. I don't know. This was tilting. Oh, okay. Guess I didn't hit. What a buggy fucking game this is. You're dead. Ooh. That's pretty good. Seems like they're staying injured, which is super risky. That is something you'll notice a lot of good teams do. They will stay injured and just work on gens because they're just not as scared of immediately getting hit. They might not do that if they're going against like a Spirit or a Nurse, but that is definitely another sign that you're going against a team like that is if a lot of them don't bother healing because working on gens is actually more efficient and smarter. I fucking hate everybody having Dead Hard. Also, I'm glitched and I can't move. Another sign that you're going against a group like this or like a decent team of survivors is they will never throw the shock pallet down. As soon as I see a survivor that'll actually go down instead of throwing the shock pallet down, usually they're pretty good because they know it's an extremely strong pallet and they'll try to save it as long as possible. So that's another thing that can tip you off that they're good. Resilience gamers? I don't know. They've all have like the exact same build. It's weird. And as a side note, it might seem like, oh, well, if she dropped the pallet, she would have been alive. But as you'll see later, the pallet being up gave them a huge fucking boon. So it is actually smart a lot of the time to leave a pallet up, even if you go down, if it's near a generator that's almost done for future plays. These scratches are not yours. Yeah. So what I did here is I waited for like 2 more seconds because, again, assume everybody has borrowed time. The fact that she stopped moving like this is usually indicative that her borrowed time is running out and she's trying to bait a hit. So if this happens, just wait a couple of seconds and then continue hitting because it's likely the borrowed time will have expired by then. And that's an example of God, that's blinding. It seems like not, inconsequential, but that extra time that the chase took because of the pallet is what made it so that one person could escape this match. Also, he had no idea it's Spirit Fury because who the fuck runs Spirit Fury on Blight? God, we're gonna live forever is so fucking nuts. They're literally getting them up faster than I can hit them. Again, remember, assume everyone has borrowed time, never hit the guy off the hook, it'll be a waste of time. And then there's just a Jane working on a gen right in front of me because they just, you know, they feel confident and they're not scared. And, you know, when you see stuff like this, it's really hard to get discouraged. But I think it's really healthy if you take a step back and realize that you're not a killer. You're not a giant, big, scary killer. You're a dude playing a video game against other people playing a video game. So don't get offended by the fact that they're not scared of you because you're a human being playing a game. You're not actually going to kill them in real life, so they're not scared of you because that's just, once you get, you know, experience enough of the game, it just stops being scary. So I know a lot of people get offended by that. They're like, oh, these survivors are not scared of me. I'm the big bad killer. But you're not. You're just a dude playing a game, and so are they. So try to take that mindset, and it'll be, I think, a bit less frustrating when you see people not give a shit that you're 2 feet away from them. In this scenario here, this is a guy working on a generator even though he is injured and he's not fleeing and he was recently on a hook. That is a recipe indicative that he has decisive strike because he just doesn't care. So in that scenario, you do not want to grab him off this generator. You would want to lunge away and then hit him so you just down him. However, I didn't time this properly and I got like a 14-second borrowed time. So although I did the correct play here, I should have technically waited 1 more second, but I'm not perfect. Still had borrowed time. Fuck, I waited so long. Didn't drop it. Nice. That'd have been 14.5 seconds. Something like that. Do I pick up immediately? This is risky. That worked out. You guys are sweaty as fuck? Not really. They just have no fear. Are these rushes so awkward? I don't know. How was no one dead? God, I feel like I've gotten so many hooks. Is this the right choice? No, it's not. I'm not chasing her away from here. Here we go. God, she was just so laggy there. What the fuck? Now, as much as it would have been a smart choice there to slug her and go back to the hook and make sure this person died because she was running out of time, the rate that they were getting people up with We're Gonna Live Forever, I just knew I couldn't do that. It would have been a wasted down, so... This game is intense. Plus, I think she's on death hook. Yeah. Finally, people are dying. Jesus. You guys here? See the scratches? I'll just ignore this. See, there, I think I made a mistake. I'm so ingrained into me that, yeah, he's got borrowed time. There's no point in swinging. But technically, I would have suffered the cooldown anyway by injecting the vial, so I at least should have swung. Like, yeah, she would have just mended in 12 seconds, but that's would have been 12 more seconds, so definitely a mistake by me to not swing there. Wait, is this the tunnel? Who did the unhooking? Was it... Fuck, I think I just... No, I didn't. Never mind. I forgot who did the unhooking. What a waste of dead hard. Ooh, never mind. Good play. So as soon as I saw that one gen, I realized that, oh shit, wait, no, they're coordinating an adrenaline play. So I thought the dead hard was a waste, but actually she just needed like, you know, one more second to get the adrenaline play. So that's another example of like that coordination that can be really brutal to go against. But even in that scenario, if you think about it, I actually, I could have handled a lot of things better there too. When she dead-hearted, she just immediately worked on the gen again. I could have walked towards the hook and then immediately turned around and just smacked her and probably would have downed her. That would have stopped adrenaline, and then I would have just straight up 4K'd. So I definitely could have done something better there. As well as right here, I make a mistake. I could have bounced off the generator and then hit her instead of going to this wall. I wasted a bit more time. It would have been very close. I also could have bounced off of this wall as well. So I misjudged how close the generator was to being completed. So again, that's a mistake I made. It's not necessarily that, you know, Survivor Friends OP. I just could have played that better. And if that were the case, then I would have downed her. And then, you know, she would have gotten adrenaline, but the chase would have been over because I would be hitting her as she, you know, got up off the floor. Additionally, if I would have put her into the mending state, which I definitely should have done, she would not have gone to full health here. She would have gone to injured, and then I, again, would have downed her. So if I had done any of those things better, she would be down, and then it would be 4K, as you can see here. But because of that, I have to get an additional hit, which takes just enough time super dead for me to not end up winning. I don't think I'll be able to get the third one, though, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm only gonna get 3. Fuck. I could have done that better, I think. Oh well, that was a fun game. Shame guy's gonna get out. Unfortunately, everybody's on death hook. Dead hard. Hey, I even waited for it, it didn't matter. That was a fun match. So, and that was the end of the match. Now, because it came down to that split second of timing, if I had done any of those, you know, mistakes that I had, if I didn't make a single one of those mistakes, or I worded that badly, if I made one less mistake, that would have been all 4 of them. I consider anyone escaping out the exit gates to be a loss for me. That's just the goal I've set for myself because there's no personal win. There's no real win condition in this game, so it's basically whatever you define it to be. But if I just had done any of those things a bit better, I would have definitely gotten all of them. Now, in defense of myself, I'm not really using a super good build. I got tired of using Rune Undying because It is for actual just generic solo queue matches. It's too easy. It's actually, I think, a bit too strong. So I just stopped using it. Not to say I'm like gonna shame people for using it, and if I went against a sweaty team, I would absolutely throw that shit back on. But for the most part, I find it to be a bit overkill, so I'm just trying kind of random dumb builds. So if I had an actual any game delay or things like that, it definitely would have gone differently. But the overall message here is the method that you should look out for people that play like this. So the first step is basically identifying that they're going to be that kind of group based on the way that they play. Are they smart with looping? Do they fake windows? Are they not scared of you? Are they not running when you're nearby when you're chasing somebody else? Are they hooking right in front of you? Do they have borrowed time? Are they getting people up very fast? These are things you need to look for in a match. And when you see that, you need to adjust accordingly, because when you see that stuff, you need to assume everybody has DS. You need to assume everybody has borrowed time, things like that. And that's usually how it'll go. Now, I didn't really tunnel anybody or anything like that, so DS wasn't relevant. And actually, they only actually had one DS, so that wasn't relevant either. But they had a shit ton of We're Gonna Live Forevers, and that made it so any pressure I tried to get through slugging was immediately negated. And they had really good coordination as well. I don't even know if it was a full group. I think it was just 3, not 4. But the point is, like, try not to get discouraged when you're going against groups like this, and I guess use the tips in there to be able to, better combat it. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. I'm losing my mind. But overall, try not to get salty at this stuff too. That is, I think, one of the most important takeaways from this, is that in order to do better against groups like this, you need to stop blaming the game or things like that, because it's pretty easy for someone else in the same scenario to have the same result and then just go, oh, well, the only reason I lost is because, they were a group and they had OP perks and this bullshit and all that good stuff. But if you looked at it, I was analyzing my stakes, and I absolutely could have gotten all 4 of them if I just had one less mistake. I would have definitely won. So I think the moral of the story is admit to mistakes and adjust tactics accordingly based on the group that you're going towards. And if you do, and you end up not getting salty, like in the post-game chat, everyone just had a great time. Like, we were all having a super fun match where, an inexperienced killer might take this as them just getting bullied the entire match. If you learn to admit your mistakes and try to improve rather than just blame the game, you'll end up having a lot more fun, and the people that you're going against will have a lot more fun too. And I guess that's the overall goal. Now, of course, I'm saying that like I play this game basically for a living, so I can say, oh, just be super good and you won't get salty, which is fucking stupid, obviously. It's ridiculous to assume that people are going to play at the level of people that play this game for a living. So I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm just saying try to have the mindset that I have, that, you can always improve and things like that. And that'll hopefully, in time, lessen the blow of going against a team like this, and you will learn to improve upon those mistakes as well, rather than just blaming the game. But I already made a video about people just blaming the game. Even though it is broken as shit, I think blaming the game is not a good idea, unless it's just a straight up bug, like where they teleport, or you just don't hit, like you just phase through somebody. That shit can be annoying. But I think I'm just ranting about random stuff now. Mostly that was just a cool game I wanted you guys to watch, because I had a lot of fun doing it. It was the most fun game I had in a long time, and I wanted to kind of show how the perception that some might see it as a bully squad, I saw as just a really fun match that you can learn a lot from. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. My God, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm ranting. Bye.